In today's weather video, we are going to be talking about potential major winter storms that will impact a certain part of the United States, and also cause a lot of problems. In today's video, we are going to go over what problems those might cause and the magnitude of the potential major winter storms. So let's start off with our 18Z, because that is rendering in. It's 246 hours out, so that is all what we need for right now, because we don't need to look any farther out than that. Because the more farther out we go, the more of a uncertainty there is in the model. So as we go in time here, in about 24 hours, our winter storm is going to be starting to kick off around tomorrow, Saturday 18Z, which is right around noon, maybe around, I'd say, afternoon. It's gonna really kick off, and then overnight, this will literally pop off with some snow on the north side, some rain, and some icy mix on the southern side. But this is not the only major winter storm that is possible. We got some other ones farther out, but this one looks to be really, really likely. I'm almost possibly saying that this is going to happen. But um, cause a lot of problems in Northeast too. We'll take a look at snowfall totals on the DFS in a few minutes, but as we pull things out, that moves on out right around, let's say, Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon, we're just dealing with some isolated snow showers for parts of the Northeast. And then as we go a little bit, scroll down here, as we go further south, we got a little bit of a snow mix trying to develop for parts of Virginia. Um, but that really won't do anything. In fact, I probably would bet that it wouldn't produce any snow, but things could change. We're still about 80 hours out, so. But we got another major winter storm that might even develop for parts of the Missouri Valley going into the Ohio Valley, even parts of North Carolina too. But that's not the only one we have. We have more, more. Never ending. So winter is not done here. We can see that we have another winter storm trying to develop here on the DFS. This is for Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this is certainly becoming more and more likely to happen. And this does look to be causing much of a problem too. We got snow, some sleet, some icy mix for parts of the mountains, even stretching into parts of Arkansas, northeast Arkansas too, or northwest Arkansas, my bad. But the general pattern here is winter storms coming after another, uh, and it just doesn't stop. I mean, we're going to be in this pattern of where the cold air meets up with the moisture, or that 540 line, and that is going to promote a winter storm threat. Not one, not two, but several winter storms in February. So February is probably going to be really, really active when it comes to winter storms. Severe weather, I wouldn't really say all that much, but as we go later into February, into early March, that's when we'll watch for some severe weather potential. But for right now, uh, it's occurring more on the minimal side of things. Also, if we do see any severe weather in the next week, I'd probably bet right around maybe for parts of Tennessee with the next system here, but it'll probably be very, very, very minimal, right? But um, yeah, uh, so certainly some very, very active stuff on the GFS model there. As we take a look at the snowfall totals, the 10-1 ratio. Let's not go far out here. Let's go one storm at a time. So as this storm, first storm, develops and creates snowfall, or in other words, snowfall accumulation, we do have some decent snowfall accumulation for parts of the Northeast. And speaking of Northeast, We'll zoom in here. Sorry guys, I'm dealing with a little bit of a cold, but I'm all right here. But in the Northeast, we could be dealing with 1 to 2 inches generally for parts of central and northern Ohio. Going into Pennsylvania, 4 to 6 inches is most likely your best bet, but we can't rule out some isolated areas up to 8 inches of snow for parts of central Pennsylvania, as noted by the GFS. And then as we go to New York, we got around 6 to 7 inches in southern New York, and in northern New York, we got around 3 to 4 inches generally. And then western New York near Buffalo and surrounding areas, we got generally around 2 to 4 inches of snow being most likely. And then for parts of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, we do have some 6 to 7 inches of snow noted by the GFS, but I feel like that's a little bit of an aggressive trend there on GFS, but definitely snowfall for parts of the Northeast. How much snow will be a little bit uncertain, but as we get a little bit more high resolution models in this, we do have some more things to figure out. But as we go a little bit farther out here with our other winter storm, and my goodness, that is a lot of snow slash wintry mix. This down here, I'm probably gonna most likely say that is probably wintry mix rather than just all snow, but that is probably most likely mixed in with some snow. But don't take that literally here. We're still 100 hours out, 126 hours out at that. So I wouldn't really bet on that really happening, but a winter storm is definitely possible down there. Just the magnitude of the winter storm, the strength, the timing, the placement of that low pressure is yet to be determined because the second storm hasn't even formed. The low pressure from the first storm is getting ready to form, and that is going to be our first storm to produce the snow and our ice and some rain. But our first storm looks to be dealing with some upwards of 8 inches, I'd probably say, at max for snowfall. But our second storm, I could definitely see us seeing maybe as much as I'd say 8 inches with our second storm for parts of Virginia. But don't really take this seriously here. This is probably all ice and stuff, but it is on the concerning side as we are getting much closer and closer. Uh, but we gotta take one storm at a time. So let's worry about this winter storm number one here, and then winter storm number two we'll deal with later after winter storm number one's done with. But the main video, or the main thing to take away from this video rather, is to know that winter storms are appearing more and more likely as we go into later into February. So an active pattern for winter storms for parts of the Northeast, stretching into the Midwest as we go later into February. But yeah, if we take a look at the high resolution models, I did note that earlier. Take a look at the NAM 12K and see what that says here. If we take a look at radar here, we can see that we got some snow trying to develop here for parts of New York. And as we go later in time here, our snow ice is really trying to take shape here for parts of Ohio, stretching into Maryland, Northern Virginia, the panhandle of West Virginia, and then stretching into south central Pennsylvania and into Delaware. This is 18Z Saturday, February 8th, which is tomorrow afternoon here. As that builds, we're going to be dealing with a pretty significant winter storm here on the NAM model here, which is a little bit concerning because this is a more of a high resolution model. This is a CAM model. So let's pull things out here. We got a pretty large winter storm here for parts of the Northeast. At one point, all of New York's gonna be snowing. At one point, all of Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, even parts of Connecticut and Rhode Island could be dealing with some wet snow down there. So we'll see how cold it is. If it's around like 30 degrees or something, yeah, we could see that snow definitely sticking. But it's all going to depend on where the temperatures are. But the really significant winter storm here on the NAM model, but that's going to push out right around 15 Sunday, which is right around noon. And we're going to be dealing with some isolated snow showers after that as that winter storm moves out. And the second winter storm is yet to be upon us here, but worry about one storm at a time, like I said earlier in this video. But this winter storm looks to be very, very concerning too. So on the NAM model, excuse me there. But as we go take a look at snowfall totals on the NAM model, let's see, total snowfall, and I kind of think this will be a little bit aggressive, and it kind of is to be fair. But as this winter storm moves out, uh, the snowfall totals look to be a little bit aggressive. Starting off with Ohio, we got 1 to 3 inches generally for parts of central and northern Ohio, even some isolated upwards of 4 to even 5 inches of snow for parts of northeastern Ohio. And then stretching into West Virginia up along those slopes or mountains there, we got generally around 2 to 4 inches of snow. And then going into northern Virginia, right around a trace to as much as an inch of snow. And as we go into Delaware, we got northern Delaware there, right around Wilmington area. We could be seeing upwards of 5 to 6 inches of snow. And then southern Delaware, as much as a trace to even an inch of snow. And then Maryland, a lot of Maryland, I'm probably going to say around 2 to 4 inches of snow. But yeah, that's it with Virginia or Maryland, my bad. And then as we go into Pennsylvania, we'll start off with Western Pennsylvania here, where we could be dealing with 4 to 5 inches of snow with isolated areas upwards of 6 inches. And then Southern Pennsylvania, we could be seeing around 6 to 8 inches, according to the NAM. Again, things could change a little bit, snowfall total wise, but the main thing to take away from this winter storm is that some pretty decent snowfall accumulation is very, very likely here. And this winter storm will be very problematic with the ice, snow drifts, and all those things you don't want to experience because if you're on the roads, you're going to be dealing with a lot of ice depending upon where you are and how much ice there is. And freezing rain apparently is very, very dangerous too, because when the freezing rain falls, you're gonna have rain. It's gonna fall, right? And then it's gonna hit a surface, and then it's gonna freeze, and that's gonna be a problem here with some of this activity. Um, but hopefully, everybody is taking this seriously here with our first storm. Again, this is our first storm here. First of many winter storms that will develop here. But uh, let's see, around 7 to 8 inches of snow for a lot of New Jersey, and then eastern Pennsylvania. We got around, I'd say, 6 to 8 inches with upwards of 10 inches of snow. I think that's a little bit too aggressive, but I'm being a little bit conservative here. I'm taking these snowfall totals and I'm basically subtracting it by 1 or 2 depending on how high the snowfall totals are because I don't like to be aggressive with a lot of things. But if we go to New York, we can see as much as a trace to as much as 2 inches near Buffalo and surrounding areas. Even near Syracuse, we could be seeing some 2 inches of snow, I'd say. And as we go to upstate New York, near the Adirondack Mountains, we could be seeing 3 to 4 inches of snow. And then as we go into Connecticut, Rhode Island, around 4 to 6 inches of snow, and then Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, we could be dealing with 2 to 4 inches with isolated areas of up to 6 inches, especially near Boston, stretching into southern Massachusetts, and then Maine, right around southern Maine, we'd be dealing with 3 to 4 inches, and then northern Maine, just a trace as much as an inch of snow, very being possible. So to look at the HRRR model here, we could be seeing, give me one sec, let's not take a look at snowfall totals quite yet on the HRRR. I do want to see, let's see, so the 18Z, and then we could see how many, or how much snow the Northeast could be dealing with. It's one winter storm here, the first. So that storm is going to develop here with some isolated uh, snow showers developing, especially near, let's say, I don't know where that's at, but that's right around eastern Virginia, stretching into northern Virginia, and then even parts of the western panhandle of West Virginia, and then stretching into Ohio and even Indiana. We could see some isolated snow showers developing, also some isolated freezing rain showers developing also. And then that's going to really pop off here. Um, this is 21Z Saturday, so this is a little bit more later than previously thought on the NAM, or the NAM was a little bit earlier and the HRRR is a little bit later. But wow, a lot of ice, a lot of snow, even some rain. But the more dangerous thing or problem I'm concerned with this winter storm is going to be the ice. Which is going to create some slick spots, and that is not something you want to deal with, especially if you're on the roads. You're going to be slipping, sliding on the roads, which is something you should not deal with in those types of situations. But if it's snowing in Michigan, we haven't talked about Michigan in this video yet, but I did now. Michigan, your snow is going to be going on around 18Z from right around, it's going to end right around 520Z. But as we go into parts of northeastern Ohio, even northwestern Ohio, or generally northern Ohio, I'd say it's going to kick off right around 18Z Saturday, stretching all the way a lot of nighttime hours, and then going to dissipate right around 05Z Sunday morning. And then as we go into Pennsylvania, a lot of Pennsylvania, you guys are going to be dealing with some isolated snow and freezing rain showers developing, and then that's going to increase in coverage, and we're going to be dealing with a lot of just a lot of mess here. According to the HRRR, this is the 18Z. So we're getting fresh data coming in here with our models, and that's gonna move eastward here overnight, going into early Sunday morning, and it's gonna start snowing western New York right around 1Z, and then it's gonna be snowing for several hours here, and it's gonna dissipate right around 05Z Sunday morning. So, and then Pennsylvania, I do think is gonna be a pretty big hot spot when it comes to this winter storm here. Not to say anywhere else will not be dealing with any winter storm. It's just that Pennsylvania looks to be more of a hot spot. Ice, snow, all that sleet, mess, watery precipitation. That's gonna be kicking off right around midnight here, um, and that's gonna really uh, um, be a problem. Luckily, this will happen at night, so hopefully, um, there won't be a lot of people on the roads, but people coming home from work or night shifts or whatever, do keep in mind that a winter storm is coming for you guys. In New York, does look to be getting in those really dark blues, which is snow. And in New York City, your general timing looks to be right around 0Z Sunday morning all the way until right around 08Z Sunday morning. And that's going to move out for right around 15Z. And we're just, yeah, that's the end of the HRRR. And if we do take a look at the snowfall totals, um, let's see what we got here. Have not looked at the models yet today, and well, I actually did look at them this morning, but wow, a little bit more conservative, I'd say, when it comes to the snowfall totals for a lot of Pennsylvania. But Northern Ohio, I would see maybe around as much as a trace of snow. Even parts of northeastern Ohio, we could be dealing with maybe up to an inch or two of snow. And then northern Pennsylvania, generally, I'd say right around 2 to 4 inches. And then central Pennsylvania, I'd say right around 1 to 3 inches. And then southern Pennsylvania, as much as a trace of snow. And then northeastern Pennsylvania, I'd say generally right around 2 to 4 inches. And then southern to central New Jersey, we got right around a trace of snow. And then northern New Jersey, we had around 2 to 4 inches of snow. And a lot of New York, I'd say right around 2 to 4 inches of snow with isolated amounts upwards of 6 to 8 inches of snow. And then as we go into parts of Long Island, we can see some accumulation. And then parts of Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, upwards of 4 to 5 inches of snow with isolated amounts up to 6 inches of snow being very possible. And then Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, generally right around 2 to 4 inches with isolated areas up to 6 inches of snow, especially southern Vermont and southern New Hampshire. And if we zoom out here, we've got a little bit of a let's take a look at the GFS here. Pulled up the wrong product, but that's okay here. So the shaded temperatures here are not shaded. I want to go anomalies. That's what it was, anomalies. So as we come out here, we would talk about in our last forecast how that cold air is really trying to put it in, and that still does look to be the case, with the exception of the southeastern United States still dealing with above average temperatures. But that's going to change a lot. We're going to keep getting these plunges of cold air really trying to dominate the United States here. And that's going to be probably the main theme for February, is where we're going to have much of the United States dealing with below average temperatures, which that is favoring for a winter storm potential, because as we have these below average temperatures, we could be dealing with some moisture mixing in with those cold air anomalies, and that'll create a problem, as we're going to have many winter storms to come. Many as in several. I'm not going to go bonkers and say 10 winter storms in February. No. I'm probably most likely saying around 3 to 4 inches, or 3 to 4 winter storms at max, I'd say. But we could be seeing more. It's just one of those things where the pattern is favorable. It just you gotta know when the moisture is meeting up with that cold air, and when we're gonna see a full-blown winter storm. But that's all we're going to talk about in this video, everybody. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and also and consider going over you guys' winter weather preparedness plans. So yeah, but that's gonna do it for this video. Like the video, also subscribe. You don't have to subscribe. I mean, it's optional. But I started making these weather videos, and let me know how these weather videos are doing for you guys. The viewership is doing pretty good, especially my latest one. But I haven't made one of these in a few days, so I thought today was the time to make one, as we do have some stuff to talk about. And then severe weather potential, we'll probably go over that in another video. Just wanted to talk about the winter storm potential and the snowfall accumulations, and as well as the timing. So this is technically a detailed forecast here, so this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, or this was going to be a little bit of a longer video. But, yep, that's it. All we're going to have for you guys here. So, yeah, and we will see you all in the next video.